So today is a technical session again, and we took a couple of technical sessions, and it was all about building the virtual lab and get familiar with the server infrastructure. So what is a group policy? What is DHCP server, DNS? How to configure group policy? How to check the policy? So it was about to understand and get familiar with the server or with the system infrastructure. And the reason we are doing that, as I mentioned earlier, is that in real environment, we will audit Windows Team. So we are not configuring the group policy, but we are auditing the group policy. But today actually is extremely important because today we're going to take the first solution, which is a DLP solution. So we covered already what needs to be done before implementing any technical solution, like SOW, which is extremely important to identify the business need, not just for the DLP, but whenever we are implementing a solution, it could be a data classification, it could be a DLP, an antivirus. Any solutions that we are implementing, we need to identify the business need before. So we already covered this specific point. What is a statement of work, how it should be identified, what document are we referring to, the asset register, the risk register. This is all factors that you need to study. And honestly, this is the critical part of the project, because selecting the project technically and the implementation of the project is not really the challenge, because most of the time the vendor is the one who's doing that. But your responsibility is very important. You don't want to make the company spend that much time purchasing 1,000 or 2,000 license for DLP, and then you find out that it will not protect all kinds of information, and it's not working on all kind of operating system. So statement of work is extremely important. What we will take today is the implementation part, because as we agreed from beginning, that it's very important to know the process, but to be familiar with one of the technology. So it's important to know what is your responsibility when it comes to implementing any technical solution, and to explain what statement of work mean, what should be included, what document you are referring to. But also, if the interviewer asks you about a specific tool, you can mention a tool, right? Like in previous session, we took NASIS as a vulnerability management tool. So you can comfortably say that, yes, I used NASIS for vulnerability assessment. It's not enough to know about the process of VA, but also you know about the tool. So the same concept apply for today. Today, you're going to see the implementation of real DLP and using a specific technology, and how we are configuring the rules and the policy. And you will be doing that yourself. So when you go for an interview, you can explain the purpose of DLP, how to identify the business need for DLP, and finally, what tool did you use? So this is the purpose of today. Before starting the technical session, I just want to share with you your assignment, okay? And this is a realistic assignment. Some of the assignment, guys, will be a real assignment. Real mean this was real requirement in one of the interview, okay? So I want you to do that as realistic as you can, because this was needed for one of the candidates who applied for a job, and the interviewer asked him to create a presentation or a plan to implement the DLP, okay? Now, you're going to need to keep in mind what we covered from the project perspective, SOW, success criteria, and the DLP functionality and the DLP implementation. So this is the, and by the way, this is quite common right now. Many people who attended this program, when they apply for jobs, I find out that it's the company or the organization is not just doing an interview. Most probably you're going to face that. They are doing an interview first, and then they will ask you to prepare a presentation about the topic. It could be like a solution implementation. It could be a standard implementation. So right now, business are looking on how are you thinking when it comes to implementing information security management system. So here is a scenario. A healthcare company, right? They are implementing a data protection tool. Okay, and as I told you, this was a real scenario. It's a real requirement for an interview. So if you are able to do that successfully, this is a very good milestones that you passed in the program. So the entity, which is a healthcare, okay, entity, is looking for someone to implement a data protection solution, which is a DLP. Now you need to keep in mind while implementing some point, the type of data that they have different kind of data. And the data, and this is very, very important, are not only located on premises, but also some of them are located on cloud. Okay, you're gonna need to do some research on that, because I took a real scenario and I just need to see, after taking today's session, are you able to understand your responsibility for a protection for a solution like that or not? Second, that they do have different kind of information. They have Office 365 like Word and Excel. They have SQL Server database. They have images. They have AutoCAD drawings. So they have different kind of information security. Third, and this will be also important to do some research about it, this entity are following specific standard. It's HIPAA. People who are located in US, they know about HIPAA. Maybe this is a standard for all the hospital and clinic. So do a small research and see what is HIPAA requirement regarding data protection, because maybe this will affect your decision about selecting the solution. Okay, so you need to have a presentation showing, okay, what do you think should be the process for doing that? And I'm not talking here technically. I mean, installing the program is not really the problem, right? This is not the skills. But what need to keep in mind to make sure that the implementation of the solution are covering different aspects of the organization. Okay, what is the challenge? What is the prerequisite? Is that any prerequisite? And today, after taking the technical session, I think you may figure out that there is prerequisite that need to be there. Okay, what is the different project phases? Okay, so the presentation need to cover that. And the deadline is 2 weeks, because I know recently I've been giving you a lot of assignment, and many of you are not submitting all the assignment. So you have 2 weeks to submit the assignment. Then I have a question for you. Is that what do you think is the most challenging phase of the program when you implement a solution like a DLP, after going through the project and technical part of it? Let me know what you think. If you're gonna go and implement that tomorrow in a company, what do you think the main challenge? What are the factors that you will like consider and be worried about? Okay, so this will be your assignment. It will be sent to you after today's session. But my point is, you have to follow the technical session today, get familiar with the product, know how to configure DLP, how to put a policy and a rule and test it. Okay, so when you at least present that, you know what you are talking about. Okay, so I just wanted to show you the assignment before we start. And this is what you're going to be doing. Now, I will not just look for a presentation. Okay, I need to see how are you going to present that. So you have two options. First option is to create a video explaining the presentation. Okay, it's very, very important, because the way you're going to demonstrate that, sometimes when you see a presentation, it's just bullet point. But when you present it, okay, I will get to see how are you thinking and relate things to each other and highlight the challenge and highlight the prerequisite and so on. So one option is to create a video presenting that, shouldn't be more than 10 minutes, and send it to me. Second one, and I don't really like it, but if you are, have a problem presenting the video, we can arrange a one-on-one meeting on like Tuesday or Wednesday, regular time, and you can present it for me and whoever the team. We can do a separate session for that. But I prefer that you do that on Windows, like a recorded video. It's very important now to start working on your presentation skills. Okay, for solutions, for standard, for risk, it's important to do that. So I suggest to do the presentation and also to record the video and show me how you're going to present that to the department or to the company, showing them what is a DLP, how it will be implemented, what need to be kept in mind, how it should be planned, and so on. Do your research. This is realistic assignment. It's a kind of assignment that you can say, yes, I'm very good in DLP. If you like completed this specific task. And DLP right now, there is a lot of demand in the market for it. So when you highlight that you know or you have experience with DLP implementation, it's a very big advantage, because right now in Europe, they are following GDPR, mainly about privacy, in US for HIPAA and for NIST and for different standards. So it's a very important topic.
First of all, guys, regarding DLP, it's data leak prevention. So you can't protect the data to leaked outside your company. I have here a screenshot for something called data labeling. So the data leak prevention, it's two parts actually. It's the you have to classify the data. There is something called data classification, and the solution itself, which see what is the class of this file, and it will prevent leaking this data. So because we don't have something like trial version of data classification only, so I brought you screenshots from the internet for one solution. It's very expensive, so that you have to purchase it. So I just brought you a screenshot. Usually, if you don't have DLP, you have just data classification. So each file on your system should have a classification. For example, your company use top secret, confidential, staff, company, something like this. So when you implement this in your data classification solution, every file on the computer, like here, if you can see the screen, when you right click on the file, you have something called the classify as. So you can classify this file. If you sometimes you can see, if you open the Word file, it will ask you what is the classification of this file when you save it. So you have to specify the classification of this file. Also, like here in Excel, you see here it said company confidential. So it's written on the file, on each file. Not only it's labeling on the digital, it will also, if you print the file, you will have this classification written on the file. So when you have this classification, later on when you implement DLP solution, it will read this classification and follow the rules that you will implement. We will see it now.
I'm so sorry, Samir, if I can interrupt. Okay.
Yeah.
Just to let you know about some common data classification tool. One of them is called Titus. Okay, you can Google it. The problem, as Samir was saying, it's very hard to get this kind of application as a trial version. And one of them is called Boulder James. Those are the most two common data classification tools that is used.
Okay, guys, you have to understand the concept of data classification. So now we will go deeper in this solution. Now, how to install it, sign in, everything you will see it in the pre-recorded session. But now we will see how to implement it and how we will real test the solution, it's working or not. Okay. Now I have
a quick question. So first, in the 2019 server, I have to download endpoint DLP Plus, right? Install it, right?
Yeah. Did you follow the first and second sessions to prepare the lab?
Yeah, I followed already. I did it already.
Yeah, okay, good. So you have to watch the third one. Okay, watch the third one, and you can you'll know how to download it, how to install it, and implement it, and do everything. Okay.
This lecture, is this the lecture for the third one? Third one lecture, this one?
The third lecture, yeah, for the DLP, yeah.
This is the same lecture you are giving right now, right?
Yeah, for the same one, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome. But because the recorded one, it's to the point directly. But here, because it's a live session, so we have questions, and we can see a little bit more. So that's why it will be the same result. But in that session, I explained how to install it. Now, guys, DLP solution, we install it on the server, and we have to connect. This is very important. We have to connect the DLP to our domain controller. So in the settings, you will see something called domain. We have to add our domain controller here, and it will connect to the domain controller, our server. After that, it will detect the computers. So once you want to add the computer, it will ask you to download the agent. Each computer should have an agent, because how the DLP will know if this data allowed to go outside the company or not. So there is an agent. It's monitoring each file on the system, on the client system. So here in PC1 Windows 10, if you go here, you can see it's monitoring. See, it's saying server address, and it's connected with the server. So managed engine DLP, the agent software, it's installed on the Windows 10. So everything I will do here, it will be sent it to the DLP and see if this is allow or not. We will see now that. So once we download the engine, the agent, sorry, and install it on the system, it will appear here that PC1 is connected to the DLP and it's working properly. Now the big part here, the policy. I go fast in the agent because everything has been explained. Now because this is anyway your job in real life, not implementing this solution. Your job to create the policies that we will show you now. But and also not created in the solution itself. You will create it in the paperwork, in the admin, and you will give it to the IT, and you will audit this later on. But let's see now everything here. In policies, we have something called here data classification, as I mentioned before. But here it's a little bit different than what I show you in the screenshots, but it's the same concept. So when we go to data classification, we have to create the rule. Here, the standards, as Dr. Muhammad said about the HIPAA or these rules. So if you go here in create rules, let's go here on all and select health. You can see here Canada, you can see Australia, US. So for example, in the United States, the national insurance number, or maybe I go, it's correct or not. Yeah, I don't know if it's right or not. Yeah. So it should not be leaked outside, because this is very important number and it's a personal. So you can, when you select health, you can tell the DLP if, for example, now here UK health national health service number. So it's asking you how many digits it should be, like. Yeah, 3 digits. Maybe you can go deeper. You can 7 more. I don't know the exactly the number, but you can adjust the number. It depends of the law. Okay, it's mean like maybe sometimes you are sending a number, but it's not a national insurance number, so it should not be. The DLP will detect this number as a national insurance number. So you have to adjust at least, like if there is a 3 numbers of the national insurance number. So stop leaking this data. I will show you different things now, but just I want to let you know how this works. Also here for finance, for example, credit card number. Credit card, like for example, American Express. Okay, see here, specify the number to assure. I will show you here the. Now, do you see this screenshot? It's asking me now for regarding American Express. Specify the number of assurance the rule should match in order to mark the data as sensitive. So each number of American Express has a format. Okay, so. I can tell the DLP if you saw 3 numbers that match the format of American Express, mark it as sensitive. Okay, if I said 4, so I'm going deeper. I'm going more secure. 5, 6, and up to I don't know, like American Express maybe 13 number or more. I don't know. Okay, so this is about the number. Even like national insurance number of US, it has its own format. For UK, it has its own format. So if it's the 3 numbers only match this format, it will mark it as a sensitive data and it will block it.
Hey Samir, can I have a question? The 3 numbers at the beginning of the card or end of the card?
Whatever. any three numbers. Because it's because these numbers are as I told you, it's a formatted. If you can see here, but this is a little bit technical. If you go to info here, see the pattern. Okay, so it's a little bit complicated. I don't need you to to go deeper this, but any three numbers, DLP found it match the format of the American Express, it will mark it as sensitive data. Let's see something simpler. Okay, I will show you something more simple than this. Now let's go to create rule, and let's say it. Okay, this is documents. Okay, documents. I want to block documents. If you can see here, create custom rule. I don't need the standard rule. I will go to custom rule. I have here something called file extension, document matching, keyword matching, and pattern. This is the pattern I told you. It's a little bit complicated. You can type like a formula or something. Okay, so let's go simpler to file extension. So I want to block here. The rule name is document also, or DOC, or whatever. Now the extensions is DOC for document for Word, DOCX for the new version of documents, for example XLS and XLSX. Okay, so these four extensions, I will apply a rule for these extensions. Click on save. Now I have this rule. Save. I have the rule, but it's still not applied. When you go to deploy policy deployment, I have to associate the policy. So click on associate policy. It will tell you which computers, which group of computers. So I already created the group which containing the computers that will apply this rule on it. So I call it work. Now I will select the rule. It's called document. And let's go next. Now it's asking me what you want to do with this rule. So I selected the four extensions. Now for file access, audit only, no problem. They can access it. Screenshot, I want to block. They cannot take screenshot. They cannot send it through Outlook. Block emails. They cannot upload it. Block sensitive file upload. And when you select upload, it will tell you which browsers you want to monitor. So I will select all browsers: Edge, Chrome, and Firefox. Now it will ask you here. Maybe in your organization you can allow to put a USB flash drive in the PCs. Usually it should be blocked, but if so, maybe the employee will copy this file to the thumb drive. So I will block it as well. If for example also any administrator can override this rule, I can print confidential on it. So print watermark. If like if you can see, the watermark will be printed only when the file is printed after overriding the block. All right. So I blocked everything here. Now click save. Give the permission to deploy. Here we are controlling the computer. I don't care about the user. Even now here in the Windows 10, I'm logging in as administrator, and the rules will be applied because the engine is monitoring the computer. They don't care. The engine don't care about the user is logging in. And we can start deploying the policies.
Okay.
So as you can see here, now as you see, guys, I deployed. It's see the deployment status 100. How many computers? One computer. Now let's go and test this. I have here the Windows 10 machine, but sorry, I don't have here Word and Excel. So let's modify the rule. Let's go to data classification. I will add text, TXT, okay, because I don't have here Word and Excel. So let's go to rules. And modify the rule. I will edit the rule and add TXT. and JPG. The JPG, the file for the picture for the photos. Okay. Yeah. Save. Let's deploy it again. It's deployed already. You see, manage engine processing, because you already deployed the first time. When we modify it, it's redeployed. Okay, so now let's test it. Okay, see guys, because we until now we didn't connect our lab to the internet, so we will have an exception here. In now next lecture you will not next lecture, the fifth lecture, you will know the FortiGate, and we will connect our lab to the internet, and we'll see more and more how to block websites and these kind of things. Now for Windows 10, I will right click here and add another adapter to take the internet connection from my network. Okay, so I will keep this, the VMnet2 to connect to the server, and I will add another one to connect to the internet. So let's see if I can upload and do anything. Once you add the network adapter, select NAT and click OK. Now you will see what's happening when we try to upload. Okay, now I will create a file. Text file. Yeah, text file. DLP actually it's make your lab a little bit slow because it's scanning everything. Now if you can see a small icon here, I will create another file. It's not in the policy. There is no black icon, because this is bitmap. This is BMB. It's out of scope. So it's not monitored by DLP. So now this one, it has been detected and it's protected from DLP. So whatever I put here, now let's try to upload it. Let's try to leak it, and also I will bring my my USB drive. Right, and sometimes like now with my case, I blocked everything, so they even cannot send an email. So the organization will not work. But what we can do now, I will show you in the next part, how we can protect some files. I mean, document files can be sent, can be uploaded, no problem. But if it's containing some confidential data, it will be blocked. I will show you this also. So let's see now, just test. Now I go extreme and I will easy it a little bit. So that's why I go backward. So now I go to this website. Maybe everyone know this WeTransfer. This is a free website to upload files through the internet. Okay. Now I will upload these two files. I will start with the image. Click open. It's okay. It's taken from WeTransfer. Now let's start add that file. You can see I cannot even, when I press open to put it in the browser, it said browser upload blocked, because this is has been blocked from the DLP. You can see the screen, right? You can see the error. Now sometimes it's allowed to, maybe this is normal file, so you have the ability to report to the administrator, because this is so you can report the administrator. This is false positive. This has been blocked as a positive. Okay, this is text file, but please allow me to do it. So you can report the administrator. Now it's blocked, but the administrator can audit that and check if it's allowed or not, and he can modify the rule. Now let's see another thing. I will put the USB. You can see here the sorry, I blocked the drive. Let me edit this. Now let's see also. We put some. I will put the file in also the Windows 10, an image. We can see also. But as I told you, once you install DLP on the server or on the client machine, you will see the lab is a little bit slow. This is normal, totally normal, because it's activated while the Windows started, and every single file on the system, it will be scanned like the antivirus, scanning everything. This engine will scan everything.